even crossed my mind that there could be too much of even a good thing. Then, one morning, over breakfast at Bonhill House, none other than Karen Smart very gently pointed out to me that I was not Wonder Woman and persuaded me that if I was to pursue what I was now beginning to understand as my UCW, I would have to say no to everything else. And this experience taught me that sometimes you have to say no, even to good things, in order to make space for things that are more right for you. Taking the Advanced Practitioner Diploma was another pivotal experience for me. It was challenging, but through that experience, I realised I'm not just here to pursue personal projects that interest me, but also to respond to the needs of the world that's calling me. It became clearer to me that what I needed to do at that time was to focus 100% on building the Career Intelligence Academy and give up everything else. But the more I did that, the more I experienced that spark, that flame I've talked about. It was like a game of hide and seek. I felt warmer the closer I got, and colder the further I strayed. And I began to experience my UCW as a kind of inner GPS, guiding me forward. This experience taught me that the more that I am able to connect to my own UCW, the more the right path for me unfolds naturally, and I no longer need to push the river. So the message I have for all of you this evening, whether or not you're graduating, is to keep living your unique contribution to the world, both in your work and in your life overall. Keep asking yourself the question, what is my unique contribution to the world? And then pay attention to the answers that bubble up for you, whatever they are. Now, I know that's not easy to do, so I have created 21 questions to get you started, and I've recorded my responses to them in a free guided programme, which I hope will provoke you to reflect on your own responses more deeply for yourself. So for those of you who are interested, one of these will be in your goodie bag with your certificate when you leave tonight. And it has everything there if you want to start exploring this for yourself or use it as a framework with your clients. So I'd like to offer you 3 tips as you start to connect more deeply and more consciously to your own unique contribution to the world. Firstly, don't compare. Your UCW is unique to you, and you will all have very different stories in coaching and beyond. So it's not meaningful to benchmark yourself against anyone else, however inspiring they may be. Learn to be guided by your own UCW. And I expect that most of you already have a very powerful intuition about what that is. So keep the channel open. And bear in mind, it need not be anything huge, like changing jobs or finding a new career path. It may simply be taking 10 minutes in the morning to tune in to what you actually want to offer that day, or who you want to reach out to, or how you want to express yourself. And maybe the 2 or 3 small things that you will commit to doing that will bring that spark back into your day. Secondly, learn to recognise the UCW in others. You might not feel the warmth of someone else's flame, but you can often see it in their eyes and hear it in their voice when they talk about it. I remember when I was on the faculty teaching the PD, being moved to see the passion with which John Gray led the AOEC company-wide campaign to end modern slavery in the workplace. When you see something like that in your colleagues or your clients, you know they are going in the right direction for them in a way which is also making a difference beyond just them. Thirdly and finally, pay attention to the outside world. Your UCW may not always come from within. Sometimes it may come in the form of a call from someone in the outside world, and it may not even be something that you had in mind for yourself. Now, this happened to me when John Leary Joyce, founder of the AOEC, was looking for volunteers to help him deliver the practitioner diploma to a women's charity in Nepal. I immediately recognised this as something that chimed with my UCW, and so I jumped at the opportunity to join him. So your next step to offering more of your UCW might be getting on a plane, or it might be doing something amazing much closer to home. Either way, make sure you're doing you, making the most of your own unique contribution to the world. So I'd like to end by encouraging you to be brave, because your UCW is needed in today's world now more than ever. But this is not a call to despair. We've been here before. In fact, I began my MBA in the US on the very day of 9/11, an event that ushered in another period of global uncertainty and existential angst. And someone who really spoke to that moment was the Jungian analyst Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Some of you may know her as the author of Women Who Run with the Wolves. She wrote an essay called "We Were Made for These Times." And she said this: "When a great ship is in harbour and moored, it is safe, there can be no doubt. But that is not what great ships are built for." Well, it's not what you were built for either. I started by saying something is missing from the world. Well, that something is not a UCW, we all have one after all, nor is it the idea of a UCW. Many people intuit that it exists without giving it a name. So here's a radical suggestion. What if what's missing from the world is you? What if you were built to traverse oceans, literal or metaphorical, to make connections, exchange ideas, and serve others in 10,000 different ways? The more people that can do this for themselves, the greater the chance I think we have together of addressing the very real challenges facing our world today. So it's time to break out the champagne and celebrate the uniqueness of each one of you. Good luck and bon voyage.